Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Timberborn with me, Papa Mega and Soggy Logs. So a drought has just started and it's only 8 days. 8 days! That's shorter than the past nights that we had. This is going to be a breeze, and I mean it, because 8 days, man, that's laughable. That is laughable. Compared to the bad tides, droughts are just so easy, or at least I feel like they are. And, this one is going to be even easier, because we have just finished the, well, it's not the upper, but let's go with the next level of our reservoir. You can see that it is fully filled with water, so we finished it just in time to have it ready for the drought. We haven't been able to fill this upper level completely, but this is such a small difference. The issue with this level is that it has a larger area, so there's going to be more evaporation, but we'll deal with that by letting it out as soon as possible. And the other levels that we're gonna build on top of that, we're already starting with that, will just give us the massive benefit of extended area. So I'm really happy to see that. I've also unlocked the large tanks. Are they called tanks? Yes, they are large tanks, and we've already scheduled the first one to be built. As I mentioned before, they have 1200 capacity, so currently we have 1260 capacity of all of our tanks together, and this one is just gonna pretty much double it. We'll need a couple more pumps. I'm planning to build 1 or 2 more pumps in this area to increase the amount of water that we're taking in, because we've already kind of never were able to fill it fully. So I'm really hoping that with additional pumps we will be able to do that. I noticed that the wet seasons have been shorter and shorter, so it is really important for us to be able to kind of increase the amount of water that we can pump throughout the time when we actually have water running through. Now, one thing that we could do is we could build the large water pump. We would have the logs and the gears, but unfortunately these ones require treated planks. And treated planks require sap from trees and additional step in processing. Where are they? Yeah, this one gathers pine resin, and wood workshop takes planks and the resin and provides you with treated planks. Now we're gonna get it eventually, but right now there literally is no space here. So one thing, actually I haven't even explained why I'm so excited about the drought. The thing is that with the bad waters, we've seen a lot of corruption taking over our island. And I'm hoping that with the drought, as the water is going to recede, we will see, or we will be able to reclaim at least some of these areas for further food production. Because we're kind of doing okay. Nobody is hungry, but we have no stockpile of food. So having as much food as possible is important. And with every oh, it's already happening! Nice! Okay, so what I was trying to say is that with every single plot of land that we will have as an extra, we will be able to increase the production. And it might not seem like much, but even if we are even with what we had before, having these extra tiles will mean that we have so much extra food every couple of days that we should be able to build a stockpile. And yes, these ones are also no longer contaminated, so we should see them working on those. So alright, well, this is generally just amazing news. We have enough water to keep the water running. We are beating the contamination, which is what I was hoping for, and we are going to be generally just doing great. Oh, okay, so now we just need to finish the large tank during this drought, and we'll have to make sure that our tree farm is watered so that the construction can continue. Well, Good, good, good. Everything is coming together. I mean, we've always known that, bad tides were just the hardest part of the game. The droughts can get very annoying, especially with the time reaching 14, 20, whatever the game. I think it can go up to 30 days we've seen in the menu. So if it gets somewhere like that, we are going to be pressed to keep everything running. But I mean, at that time we can have massive water tanks. So we'll see. We'll see. Day 13 of the 8th cycle, and we have 2 days left on the drought. And I'll be honest, this drought is actually the best time we have had in a long time. The entire island is green. We have 2 days left and we have this much water left. It's crazy, but it's amazing. We've been doing really good. I can see a small stockpile of food forming. We now have 29 carrots. People people are long gone, but beavers are no longer hungry. They're enjoying themselves, and with the constant food popping up, I think we might really see a massive improvement. We'll see what's going to happen when the drought ends, if the corruption is going to return. But so far, the entire island, as I mentioned, is green. Well, with the exception of this area, but that one was green when we were full, so you can't win everywhere. I want to mention that I have finished the large tank. It took a lot of our resources, but our water capacity is now at 2,460, which is double of what we had before. And I'm really super happy about that. Though we haven't been able to work on the pumps yet because we're lacking materials. We really do not have any stockpile of logs. You can also see it here. There's 0 logs. Everything that we gained we've used to slightly extend the levees up here. And I want to mention that we have actually finally finished the paper mill. We've been talking about that since the start of the game, so now it happened. We still need to finish the path there, and we need a windmill here to power it. And here you can see the herbalist being constructed. So a lot of things is happening, or a lot is happening, and we're working on improving everything. I want to mention also that we're having a little bit of a work shortage. We have 34 beavers and 10 young ones. A lot of our beavers have died and we're having a hard time replacing them, but we still have 1 extra bed, so yeah, we'll see how it's gonna go. And you can see we now have 56 food in reserve. Some berries are being collected, carrots are being collected, some sunflower seeds are being collected. Things are generally nice. One thing that I actually also want to mention is that I started looking a little bit more on how to plug the area down here. We know that the bad water is seeping through this area, so I cleared a little bit of rubble here, and I plan to continue with the works here, trying to plug it in, which would give us quite a lot of space in this area extra. We could utilize this entire area by destroying some of these dams and barricades that we built after the bad water started seeping in. But nothing can be done right now. Again, we do not have the resources for it, and the drought is gonna be over very soon anyway, so it's kind of hard to plan anything when it means that your beavers will swim in what I can only consider either raw sewage or something that's so contaminated it's gonna cause them to mutate and die. But yeah, it's happening. It is happening. We're gonna be there very soon, and at that point we can be a little bit more adventurous. So we're gonna see. Day 15 of the 8th cycle, and the drought is over. Actually, it's still in progress, but now it's over. Cycle 9 begins. So what's new? Well, I want to mention that we officially have a stockpile of food now. Things have improved dramatically. We are at 200, give or take a couple of units. We've been able to do that during the drought. We have the water here. and that's gonna come back in, and we are slowly extending the reservoir even further. So things are looking pretty good. As I mentioned before, we have the paper mill, we have the windmill now ready, and we have even connected it, so a beaver is there. They're gonna start, or Hokajin is gonna start producing paper very soon once he gets the logs, and a herbalist is also being worked on. But we're really short not only on wood but on planks and other components. The issue really is that we're in another of those all trees are growing phase. The oaks take 30 days to mature, and because we have planted them all in the similar time, we see large inputs of wood during certain areas, and then sort of a slowdown in between. And this can be helped and is being helped by the pines that we have planted everywhere else because they grow only 12 days, so it's kind of like helping significantly. But really, oaks are where the wood is, and while they keep popping up, there is always, as I said, a burst of growth that we can see from time to time. Now the next goal is going to be to finish the pumps here to have the water intake increased, and that's pretty much it. So is the water coming in? Oh yeah, it is coming in. So time to open the sluices, time to open the dams and have the water flow around for everyone, and then get more wood because we always need more wood. Day 9 of the 9th cycle. I've actually skipped quite ahead because I was just following the plans that I laid out in the previous update, and today the new drought has started. This one is 13 days long, but I don't really think it's going to be an issue after the previous experience, not to mention that we are extremely well prepared for it. We have 1.3 thousand units of water in the storage tanks, or the tanks. We have 286 units of food. We have full reservoirs, completely full, and we have full river as well. So bring it on. We are ready for this. We've had some contamination spread around a little bit during the normal wet season, so droughts are actually a little bit of a mixed blessing. And when we have these so full, the water actually stored here hydrates or irrigates the entire island. So as long as we can keep these growing and moving up, it will mean that we will be able to keep the island green longer and longer, which is amazing. Now I've also done a little bit of an upgrading to our water network. Apart from the small construction that continues here, we still have 0 logs. I have heavily upgraded the area here. Remember that we had just a canal, but I wasn't really happy with it, so instead I built a triple floodgate here and boxed it in, and I've put impermeable floors over here on top of what's it called? Triple platforms. Okay, on top of triple platforms. That way, basically, this is fully filled with water, and we can regulate the throughput by the floodgate, which allows us to control the flow of water a little bit better. However, even with this setup, because the water spills through the top, and because there's so much pressure, it just floods everywhere. So I'm building a little bit more of the canal, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to narrow it a little bit more, because it's getting hard to control, and it's gonna get harder and harder, because even when you put it at 0.5, not even 0.1 but 0.05, meaning we keep the height at 295, the water just starts literally squirting out of there everywhere and flooding the entire area. You can see that we still have a little bit of flood after I've tested it before. It's gonna clear itself out, it's nothing to worry about, but yeah, it's not great. It is not great. So we'll see if this will help to figure out how to do it, or how to enlarge it if it doesn't. We've also finished the herbalist, and I have learned something that you guys probably already knew, many of you anyway. We do not need sunflowers. We need dandelions. And the moment that I saw that, I remembered, and I was like, oh yeah, I did this mistake before. The same thing in one of my previous playthroughs, and you know, well, it is what it is. So I cleared some of the trees, some of the pines that we had here, and planted dandelions, which just continuously. They take 3 days to grow, and then every 3 days you get additional dandelion that you can harvest. So we're gonna be expanding those in this entire area. You can see that some of these are no longer replantable. So once they are cleared, I'm gonna extend the dandelions. But you know, the good news from this is that we can actually clear out the sunflowers, and we can instead plant carrots, which provide us with more food in shorter time. Now the palette for our beavers is gonna be way more limited, but as long as they're fed, I don't really care. I'd rather have a large stockpile of food and a bunch of fed beavers than to provide them with diverse food sources but have them starving. There's a logic to that. I hope you can follow it, because I cannot really make it much clearer than that. But yeah, it means that we're gonna get the antidote. I'll build a tank here though. I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna do that. The issue is that this tank is very small and its capacity of only 30. I could build a medium tank somewhere like here, but it would require a little bit of a change, and it would be a little bit harder to transport the antidote there. But on the other hand, man, why not? Why not? We plan to have more antidote than we do have now, so why not do it that way? I think it's gonna be better. We also have 5 fluid pumps available now. I'm planning to put a 6th one over here eventually, but right now we're just sucking all the water that we can in the tanks. We have 1.4 thousand now. I think we had like 1.2 or 1.3 when I started talking, so that's definitely working. We have a 24-hour cycle now. I'm gonna lower it back to 18 hours. I just wanted to have a burst of activity before the drought comes, so that we fill every nook and cranny with water and food and everything. It's important. Well, the next targets will be to continue enlarging the reservoir. We have still only 1 level up here, so I would like to have at least 1 more to fully utilize the fact that we have more surface area and thus more evaporation, and clear it out, or actually enlarge it so that we have more water here, while the evaporation will remain the same. And I would also like to start looking a little bit more at this area. We've already did the preliminary work here before, but we'll see if I can figure out what to do next with it. Again, we're going to be dependent on logs. We have been just using everything we can, but you can see we already have 66 units of paper, which is great. We have some planks, which we didn't before, and we even have some gears. So all of the throughput is happening. We are constructing, stuff is happening. That we've already built the water pump. So it's just, let's get more trees so that we can put more construction. I would be happy. I would be happy to have everything done like this. But we'll see. We'll see. Day 21 of the 9th cycle, and we have just survived a 14-day long drought. We actually ran out of water in the reservoirs, in both of them, which exposed quite a large chunk of the island to drought. But what we managed to do is keep the river flowing this whole time, meaning that we never really ran out of water, meaning that we never really had any trouble with the crops. And you can see here that we have built a massive stockpile. We now have 767 units of food in storage. Our carrot storage is almost full. We have 528 out of 600 carrots, and we have 147 berries. The beavers will not consume berries if they have any other alternative, so the berry stockpile is just gonna keep on increasing. Apart from the survival of our beavers, we have been extremely busy with a number of projects, and I would like to show you now what we have been up to, because there is a lot of things to go through. Again, I skipped 14 days, but this whole time we were doing stuff, and I believe that we have advanced quite dramatically. So the first thing that you will notice is that we are almost done with another level of the reservoir, which will make us happy here, because we are gonna store even more water. Now I'm prioritizing this area, and I want to build yet another level here, which will be the same level as the upper reservoir, because during the bad tides this area is useless for us. We cannot store anything in it, so really this one is the most important one, because that one we can use during bad tides and droughts as well. Once we finish this level, I'm gonna build another level over here and build a sluice on the top, meaning that once this reservoir fills fully, it will just, you know, let water overflow to this reservoir, allowing us to, you know, have this one always full. We can then close this this lower one and just have a better system in place. I actually think that is a fair thing to do, but we'll see. We'll see how much wood we'll have. Right now we have 23 logs. We've had a little bit of a stockpile, and you can see the trees are coming up, so things are looking good. Now the second thing that I want to mention is the water in the delta. I have actually managed to finish a construction here, plugging, I really hope, the area here. We'll also build levees over here to not have the water overflow if it goes above this level. So with this said, I really hope that we will see no bad water in this, and if that is the case, I can just kill these levees and dams and have this entire area fill. So that would be good. Furthermore, we now have 6 pumps. We have a capacity of 2,460 water, and once we manage to fill it, I'm actually gonna crash either one or both of these medium water tanks, clear out some of this level, and build 2 more large tanks, which would get our capacity to something like 4,000 units. There is a building, I keep mentioning it, but for those of you that do not know about it, which is called mechanical, no, it's not that, it's this fluid dump, which is basically a building you can build somewhere like here. I guess would be ideal, because it's close to the storages, and beavers will take water from the tanks, bring it here, and from here they are gonna dump it into the river. So you basically can refill the river, you know, every time you want. It is an amazing way how to take water back from the tanks during extended droughts, but it is hard to regulate, and sometimes you can run into trouble. I'm not sure how much I spoke about it. Yeah, alright, so it looks like this one is not filling with bad water, and it's not coming in. So if this one doesn't refill, we have succeeded. Yeah, we actually did succeed. I built a floodgate here to regulate how much water can go over here. I need to be a little bit careful with it so that we do not overspill down here, because as you can see the river is almost full, and we have a, yeah, okay, so it's overspilling here already. We have 0.4 here, so that should clear itself out. It's really hard to regulate. Why is this overspilling? Water is going through here. Ah, okay, it's clearing itself out. No, it's spilling here. It's getting better here. This is a little bit weird. Keeps spilling here, but what is the issue here? Let me just close it for a bit. While I record, I'll have to figure it out. Anyway, as I said, I think we have succeeded here and finally managed to plug this area, so we're gonna gain a little bit more water here. It's not gonna last much longer than it usually does, but with 4 pumps we can work longer during the wet season, actually not, during the droughts and bad tides, until we basically suck out all of the water that's here. And I can now plug it here as well. Okay, now it's fixed. Cool. So I'll be able to fix it here, you know, plug it in and have much larger body of water for the pumps to suck in during first few days of the droughts or bad tides until we run out. So, you know, more capacity, more throughput, more water for us. Now, there is a third thing that I also wanted to mention, and that's the access to the nearby island. Now, we have been talking about this island and this island for quite some time, because this is the second source, and I think the only second source of clean water. Yeah, I think so. So I would like to connect them, and I actually came up with a plan here. I have built a way down here, and I think that after that, very soon we'll be able to build a suspension bridge here like this. Okay, I can actually build it here because we have the around there. But if I delete that, you should be able to see it. Alright, like this. Then here we can build another triple platform and another suspension bridge. They're very expensive, 24 logs and 24 planks, but I believe that will give us access to the second island. And what I would actually like to do here is I would like to have it walled in, and I would like to build an aqueduct from this area and have it filled with water. And we could build an aquatic farm here. Where is it? The aquatic farmhouse, and just have it grow water plants for us. Now, I'm not sure if we would go with Span the Dog or Cattail, but I think, you know, it could give us a decent amount of food, and together with the bakers and everything, it would be a second. Oh, I have forgotten here. Alright, you need to open. Not great. Okay, I'll just empty this too. Yeah, let me just pause it. I'm not paying attention, and things are just happening. I'll have to fix it. You know, you need to regulate the throughput of water, and because I keep making changes to it, I always have an issue balancing it out. But right now it's not important, you know, it will dry out very soon. So once we get access to this island, we're gonna wall it in. Basically, it is super easy because there is not that many things here that we will need to work with. I was not sure if we're gonna wall it around or use this as a platform. It would mean that we lose quite a lot of land to begin with, but I could use the platforms here, for example, like this, and wall it off here, which, you know, would be cheaper than building 2 sets of levees, because these ones cost 8 planks, and building 2 levels of levees would be 24 wood just to get to the level where we need to start doing it. But having a fully watered island would be pretty good, and I think it would be a great idea. But we'll need to connect to this island, which is easier because there is a sort of a path here which we can just work through. And, you know, again, the once we unlock the suspension bridge, I actually haven't done that yet because I need to see where the water or the bad water is gonna rise to during, you know, the later parts of the cycle, because I think we're gonna see the water level below this, but I want to make sure that that's the case. So we're gonna do the same strategy to get to here, and here where the water is actually sourcing, I think we could build a wheat farm or a potato farm or something like that. I'm not entirely sure yet, but the same strategy can be done here. We could pretty much just wall the area off when we can, because there is a lot of trees here, or we could use it as a as a plantation for trees. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty excited about the idea of having this as a water farm, because that sounds really cool. And I've never done that, like wall off an entire island and have it done that way. And once we actually connect all of these, I do want to try these. What are they? These zip lines. I've never done that, but they're much faster way to travel. So for the beavers that we have in the area, it would be good to have a zip line connection, because it's much faster than running around. We'll keep the platforms open, but it is a long way to get here, and a zip line to here and back would mean they would be moving around much faster. So what's the future plans? Well, the first thing, as I mentioned, is the expansion of the reservoirs. That's never gonna change. We just keep doing that because as the droughts are gonna get longer, we'll need more and more water. So we can consider that a given. The tanks, I mentioned that. Once we have the tanks filled, we're gonna demolish these two and build a large one, and then maybe another large one. Then the next one, we have a huge amount of food, so I'm considering building a house here just to get a little bit more beavers, because you can see we have 33 adults and 7 children, which means we have 9 vacancies, which is just about as much as we need for the holding post. But what I would want to do, well, actually I would like to expand it by 6 beavers, and I would like to build a farm on top of these houses, because we constantly struggle with harvesting the crops. And if we had 3 more beavers, we would be way more efficient. So I believe that the 3 extra farmers, they wouldn't, give in a full yield, but they would make the land work much faster, basically, because whenever the crops are done, the growth just stops. And until you harvest it, you can lose an entire day, for example. Until you harvest it, nothing is growing there. So having 3 more farmers would, make everything a little bit more efficient and a little bit faster, and they would give us enough extra food, because we already have extra food to feed, I think, 6 more beavers. 3 of them on the farm, and the other 3 would be used to fill vacancies, because we keep struggling with having the holding post fully manned. Now, once we would get the farm, we would have to build a bakery and other places, but I think that's doable. We can actually build it around here and just have then the final product transported back into the main area. So that would work, but we'll see. Now, another thing that I actually want to mention is that now that we have the herbalist working, and we actually do have already 44 units of the medicine, I built the medium tank for medicine here, as I suggested in previous update, because I guess it just makes sense. It's close, and I don't think we'll need to do it. So because of that, I think we're gonna be a little bit more adventurous, and I was thinking of us trying to plug this bad water source. Now, this actually is a little bit off talk, but what I want to mention is we have a bad water dome here, which we could do right now. 100 planks, 200 gears, and 100 metal sheets. Now, we do have access to metal. We do have planks. 200 gears, gonna take a long time, but we can plug it. It's not an issue. But most of the bad water sources, there is a lot of them, are at the edge of the map. I mean, maybe literally every single one except the central one. Yeah, pretty much all of the other ones are at the edge of the map. Now, what I'm talking about this is, look, if we plug, what happened is, during the drought, the bad water goes down. But then when the wet season starts, all of these sources fill the map with water again, and they fill it to the level where it starts overspilling over all of these edges, meaning that it never really has any chance to go higher than that. If you build a wall around the map, you could raise the bad water to pretty much any level that you would like to. And that led me to an idea that we actually do not have to plug all of the bad water sources. We need to plug this one because there's no way to work with it otherwise, and we need to just kill it. But the other ones, like the ones over here, could actually not be plugged, but they could be directed. And what I mean by that is, look, if we want to plug it, you will need, again, 100 planks and 200 gears and 100 pieces of metal, which is insane. But you could also do something like this. You could come to it, which we would need to do anyway, and you can just do something like this. And when you do that, the bad water is gonna only fill this area, and it's gonna overspill from the map this way, which is an elegant way how to cut off the bad water source without actually having to build the bad water, what's it called, dome? I think it's called dome. Yes. And it's gonna cost us what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So roughly 270 logs. 270 logs, which is way faster. We can get 270 logs way faster than we would get. Well, we would need 300 logs here for just the gears and the planks. It would take longer to process them, and we would need additional 100 metal. And this can be said for all of these. They're all located in areas where we can actually do this. So the hard part is going to be to reach them. But I believe that even if we plug just a couple of them, we should start seeing the, especially as the droughts are going to be longer and longer, we should start seeing the sea basically receding and starting to create sort of extended lakes and rivers. I cannot really guess right now. I don't know how much the evaporation and how much, what's basically going to happen. We'll have to see, especially as the droughts are going to get longer and longer, and every kind of bad tide is going to screw with us in that regard. But if we can plug a couple of them, we should really start seeing changes, and the extended droughts will make it so that, because if you have like 7 days of wet season, but 30 days of drought, you will always see the sea going down, if you know what I mean. So yeah, and this source is going to be very close to us. We can just build a couple of platforms to it and just plug it out. This one is actually pretty close. I don't think there's any here, is there? No, there's just the good water. Well, then you have this area, which is out of the bad water right now, but later on it wouldn't be. But we could do again the same thing, and this one would be even cheaper because you literally just have to do this. Just plug it here, and then just something very narrow like this, and you would get rid of it. Yeah, and you would even gain quite a lot of land here. I think this will work. This will work, and it's gonna give us more and more land as we're gonna work, and eventually, and other islands are gonna start forming. Well, we'll see. The good news is also that we have large sources of good water. We have 2 here, and I think there's 2 here as well. There's actually way more of them. So this area is producing a lot of water, and yeah, you can see that it permeates everywhere. So what could happen is eventually, as we plug 2 free, the good water is gonna start expanding. We'll see. We'll see. It's the plan. You know, it's something that we need to test. It's kind of hard to see how the hydrodynamics are gonna work. You know, again with the bad tides and the droughts. But you know, I definitely think that it could work. And last thing that I actually wanted to mention is that I would like to improve the happiness of our beavers. They're all between 5 and 8. You can see that the average is 7. But if we get them to 10, they're gonna start working faster. If we get them to 12, they're gonna be moving faster. I don't think we can get them to 17, which would extend their life, but that would be the ultimate goal. But for me, right now, the 12 would be pretty good, and I think we can do that. I mean, the food is gonna help. That's additional. I think bread. Okay, the cattail crackers would give them extra 2, so that is good. Growth spider dog is another 2. Not sure if we could fit both of them there, but we'll think about it. So you can consider that basically 10. I would like to start building contemplation spots. That's another 1. And then the decorations. We're gonna build some roofs. We are gonna build some lanterns. We are gonna build some. What could we build? About some hammocks or benches, but really it's gonna be mostly lanterns and shrubs. I'll have to find some good spots. But I mean, you know, we're always having these areas in the water near the bridges or along the paths where we can build large platforms. Also here there's a couple of areas, and it's gonna allow us to have beavers with much higher happiness. Already I've talked about 3 or 4 extra points, which could get them to 12. There's also a way how you can actually make them always move through water. Like we could, you know, avoid the path here and just build stairs down, stairs up. It would force them to move through the river and get wet fur. I'm not entirely sure I want to go to that amount of trouble, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so that is all for this episode. We have advanced heavily. I'm really looking forward to the conquest of the next island. That is something that will generally give us a huge reinvigoration. Same with getting to the next water source, because that will mean that we can just, you know, take it in here, make an artificial island filled with water. And I could actually build some, now that I'm thinking about the water tanks and fully dumps, you know, and make sure that we basically just flood it even during the drought. That is a good idea. That is a good idea. Ultimately, you can do even crazy things like, you know, try to carve out this entire area by building large scale dams. I haven't thought of that, but that would actually work. So that would be a huge undertaking. But if we could level it off, for example, here and here, and fill the entire area with water, that would be one hell of a massive farm. Okay, let's start with the simple parts, you know. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. We're gonna put all of these plans in motion, and then we'll see what's next. Let's hope it's another drought and not a bad tide, because that one would be painful, especially if it's gonna be a long one.